a harbinger in the sense that the appearance of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, in a historical tablet is tremendously significant, in that God had sent him as a means of destruction of the tyrants. God made an end of the Pharaoh, a tyrant like no other, through Moses, peace be upon him, and by the same token will bring destruction to all the tyrants worldwide. Or it's a permission by God to put an end to all tyrants. His appearance now is intended to put an end to modern-day pharaohs. An interesting story with regard to this issue is that of the dream that a woman at the time of the Islamic successors had, where she saw Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, walking in the streets of Syria with a rod in his hand. She had told her dream to Sa'id ibn Nusayba, may his soul rest in peace, a Muslim scholar at the time, who then told her that if her dream were true, then the successor of Syria at that time had passed away. Days later, he was asked how he knew that. He said that God had sent Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, to put an end to the tyrants. And right now, the only tyrant that he could think of was the successor of Syria, who was Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. I myself believe that the appearance of this peace will cause the tyrants to literally drown. The whole world shall see God's powers. Most people are afraid of all that is concrete, whereas few fear God. They are afraid of what they can see, touch, and feel. He shall show the world, the whole world, his power. Literally, God will unravel his power once and for all to those who think they possess power. There is a part of the world whose people possess what they perceive as power and dare challenge God. They shall also drown. Another significance of the tablet is not so much Moses, peace be upon him, but the image of the Antichrist, as all the prophets had come with the same single message, and that is monotheism. They all called for the worshipping of one God, and one God only. He is one with no equal, nobody to measure up to him. As a Muslim, I bear witness that worshipping one God is the basic principle of Islam. We like this expression and truly believe it. God employs the word no every time the following verse is mentioned. There is no God but Allah, which is a negation. We like this expression and truly believe it. As a Muslim, I bear witness that worshipping one God is the basic principle of Islam. In this verse in particular, God is definitely not challenging humans, as they are in no way compatible to him. In this verse in particular, God is definitely not challenging humans, as they are in no way compatible to him. However, he challenges those who dare say they are God himself. Throughout history, people have worshipped gods of their own making, gods that aren't worth worshipping, such as stones, cows, the sun, the moon, and fire. This is trivial as such. The true ordeal in the case of the Antichrist is the false claim which he makes about being God. For one, he is a talking God. A talking God unlike other mute gods. He can do so much. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had informed his companions that the Antichrist is fluent in all languages and dialects of this world. When the children of Israel worshipped the calf, God had told them that it can't even speak on their behalf. And when Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, destroyed the idols, and was then asked if he had known who did it, he simply replied that the eldest of the idol is the one responsible for destroying the rest of them, and that if they didn't believe him, they could go and ask him. Abraham dared them to find the idol. The case is different with the Antichrist. He has signs. He orders the sky to rain and the land to grow. Signs that were granted to him by God. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had said something of great significance to his companions. In case they hear about or get to meet the Antichrist, he had asked the believers to try as much as possible to avoid him. But if they were to see him, that they should spit right in his face. Spit right in his face, so that people wouldn't be fooled by his allegations, and will automatically realize that he could never be God, especially if you spit in his face. Why? So that people wouldn't be fooled by his allegations, and will automatically realize that he could never be God. God can't be humble. He is beyond this. He is great. He neither eats nor drinks, and he definitely doesn't urinate or walk around in the streets. God is great. God is great. So spitting in his face would show the world that he is far from being God. So rather than talking to or quarreling with him, what you should do is spit in his face, for God is the greatest, and the one and only one above all creations. And so that you, as well as everyone watching you, should spit in his face, would realize that he could never be God. God is the greatest, and the one and only one above all creations. God is great. God is great. Again, the appearance of this tablet is both a forerunner and a harbinger. If you are wondering as to whether or not these events will take place soon or not, especially since the emergence of Antichrist has been the talk since the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, up until today, is it anytime soon? My answer to you is yes, indeed. I will present to you the proof with a single picture which you are looking at right now. This evidence is what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had informed his companions of, the Antichrist's coming to the city of Medina in Saudi Arabia as soon as he emerges, after which he finds the angels guarding the gates of the city with swords, and that is when he realizes that he can't go in because of these angels guarding the gates, and ends up climbing the Mount of Uhud, which is close by. As he is standing there, he points to the mosque and tells those with him that the white castle there is Ahmad's, another name for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, informed his companions of this incident, his mosque, which is 1400 years old, was from clay and palm leaves, and is now a dazzling white castle. Only a few years back did it turn into this beautiful castle. How and when did he come to know of this? This is the hard evidence which goes to show time and time again that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, doesn't say as he desires. Not does he say aught of his own desire. It's no less than inspiration sent down to him. 100 years ago, the mosque wasn't even close to what it is today, and the same 50 years ago. Only a few years back did it attain this dazzling appearance. As he is standing there, he points to the mosque and tells those with him that the white castle there is Ahmad's, another name for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Henceforth, I shall end by praying that God may accept my efforts and bring benefit to the whole world, to all humanity, and to those who worship one God and one God only. Finally, if I have done well, then it is because of the help of God. And if I had failed, then it is my fault and my fault only. Thank you all very much, and peace and blessings be upon you all.